The sound of a single golf ball being struck, thwack, echoes, and the camera follows it as it soars against a painfully bright Scottsdale, Arizona sky. Then, we're on the ground, and it's chaos. A sea of golf carts, laughing, shouting, and the clinking of glasses. I'm standing on a hill above the 18th hole, clutching a walkie-talkie so hard my knuckles are white. This is it, the culmination of a 14-month, zero-pay project. My name is Alicia, and for the last year, I've been the lead planner and the entire staff for the Vistoso Children's Hospital Charity Classic. Down below, the final scores are being posted. $2,100,000. We did it! I check my earpiece. Alicia, the CEO of the National Foundation, is looking for you. He's ecstatic. I key the mic. Tell him I'm on my way. I start walking down the hill, passing the champagne-soaked pudding green. That's when I see them. My family. My father, Martin, is grinning, his arm around his wife, Diana, and in the middle, holding the tacky silver trophy, is Ryan, my stepbrother. They're posing for the event photographer, my photographer, as if they ran the show. I approach them, my clipboard, my weapon, pressed to my chest. I need to get my father to sign the final vendor checks. Before I can even say Dad, Diana spots me. She waves her empty champagne flute in my direction, her eyes not even meeting mine. Oh, Alicia, thank goodness, she sighs, her voice dripping with privilege. Be a doll and fetch us another bottle of the good stuff, would you? We're celebrating. Ryan throws his sweaty arm over my shoulder, calling me into the photo. Couldn't have done it without you, sis. He beams at the camera. Your amazing organizing really let me focus on my swing. I look straight down the lens into the camera at you. My smile is perfect. It's the smile of a patient, dutiful event planner, but it's as cold as ice. It's all right now. I want to let you first. I want to run your foam-breaking den dumpster on Monday. They have no idea that while they were working on their tans, I was finalizing the paperwork. They think this is their house, their money. I nod to the photographer and step away. They're about to find out they're just tenants. And the lease just expired. To understand what happened on that golf course, why I didn't just throw a glass of champagne in Ryan's stupid grinning face and quit, you have to understand who I am. Or rather, who they think I am. In my family, I'm not a person. I'm a utility. I'm the load-bearing wall of this family. I'm the Wi-Fi router. I'm the circuit breaker. Nobody ever notices me. Nobody ever thanks me until the signal drops or the lights go out. I'm just there, efficient, quiet, 30-year-old Alicia. The master of spreadsheets and silence, the one who handles things. It wasn't always this way. Before Diana, it was just me, my mom, and my dad. We were a real family. But my mom got sick, fast. I was 16 when she died. And the silence she left behind was deafening. My father, Martin, isn't a bad man. He's just a weak one. He can't bear to be unhappy, can't stand to be alone. So he wasn't. 6 months after the funeral, he met Diana at some resort mixer. And just like that, the color palette of our house changed. My mother's warm, lived-in beige and blues were replaced by Diana's cold, sterile whites and silvers. And along with the new furniture came her son, Ryan. Ryan, who was 2 years older than me but 5 years behind in maturity. Ryan, the golden boy athlete who always had a charming excuse. I was still grieving, and they just moved in. Suddenly, my grief was depressing. My quiet was antisocial. I was the ghost at their new, shiny dinner table. So, I learned to make myself useful, because useful was the only way I was allowed to stay. Useful meant I was the one who taught Ryan to drive, because Diana was too nervous and my father was too busy. Useful meant I was the one who wrote his college application essays, because, as Diana put it, I had a knack for boring details. When he got a DUI his sophomore year, who do you think my father called at 3 a.m. from the country club? Not his new wife. Me. Lissy, you have to handle this. He whispered into phone, slurring his words, so I handled it. I found the lawyer. I dealt with the impound lot. I sat with Ryan through his community service intake. And my reward, I overheard Diana telling my father, Martin, darling, next time Alicia gets involved, can you at least tell her to hire a decent lawyer? This one looks so cheap, but the real secret, the one they never ever figured out, is the money. We live in a gorgeous, sprawling 8,000 square foot house in North Scottsdale. We have memberships at 2 different country clubs. Ryan's golf clubs cost more than my car. We look rich, but we're not. We're just leveraged. My father is a terrible businessman, all charm and no follow-through. Diana is a black hole of consumption. She believes budget is a dirty word. They have no idea that I'm the one who really runs the books. I'm the one who logs into the family trust account, the one my mother set up, and moves just enough money into the household account to cover the mortgage they don't know they're behind on. I'm the one who finds discrepancies with the credit card company to get late fees waived. I'm the one who takes the dividends from my own inheritance and uses them to pay for Ryan's new car lease, just to keep the peace, just to stop the fighting. They think my event planning is a cute little side hustle. They have no idea it's the only real income this family has seen in 5 years. But my real education didn't come from my business degree. It came from my grandfather, my mother's father. After my mom died and Diana and Ryan moved in, I started spending every weekend with him. The rest of the family, Martin, Diana, Ryan, they all avoided him. He's so depressing, Diana would complain. He just sits there and talks about old business deals, so I let them. I'd drive to his quiet small house, the one he refused to sell, and I'd sit with him for hours. He wasn't senile. He was brilliant. He was a retired commercial real estate lawyer, and he was sharp as a diamond. He saw exactly what was happening in my house. He saw me. I read him the Wall Street Journal. He'd make me read the fine print on contracts. He was reviewing for a friend. He taught me about leverage. He taught me about shell corporations. He taught me about debt instruments. While Ryan was learning how to shotgun a beer, I was learning how to execute a lien. Lissy, he'd say, his voice papery thin, but his eyes like steel. Your father is a fool. That woman is a viper. And that boy, he's just a balloon. All air, no substance. When he got sick, I was the one who moved in. I was the one who held his hand, who managed his nurses, who paid his bills. Diana sent a fruit basket. Once, my father was too busy with the club championship. The week before he passed, he was crystal clear.
He made me sit with his lawyer for 4 hours. He was my only ally, the only person who saw my true value, and he was the one who gave me the weapon. He was the one who told me, don't you ever let them know what you have.
Don't show your strength until the exact moment you're ready to use it. Let them think you're the help, Lissy. Let them think you're the maid. There is no greater power than being underestimated. So I stand on that golf course in my beige uniform polo, and I let Ryan sling his arm around me. I let Diana call me the help. I let them see the quiet, efficient, boring Alicia. Because my grandfather was right. They have no idea what I'm capable of. They see a maid. They're about to meet a landlord. You met them on the 18th hole, but you don't know them. Not like I do. Let's start with the queen, Diana, my stepmother. Diana isn't a wicked stepmother in the storybook sense. She doesn't lock me in an attic. She's worse. She's a creature of modern, passive-aggressive cruelty. Her entire identity is wrapped up in the aesthetic of a perfect life. Her Instagram is a curated shrine of Scottsdale brunches, charity galas which she attends, never plans, and gleaming sunlit photos of her 2 beautiful children. Yes, she calls me that, my 2 beautiful children. Usually when she wants something, her narcissism isn't just vanity, it's a full-time job. Our 8,000 square foot house is her kingdom, and she rules it with an iron fist wrapped in a cashmere glove. When she first moved in, my mother's photos were the first to go. Martin, darling, I heard her say, her voice like honey and arsenic, we need to look to the future. Don't you think these old frames are just weighing the room down? He didn't fight her. The photos came down, one by one, replaced by abstract art she bought on a girl's trip to Santa Fe, replaced by a 10-foot airbrushed glamour shot style portrait of her and Ryan. Diana, I am a permanent, inconvenient fixture. I'm the scuff mark on her perfect white marble floor. Why? Because I'm not hers. I am the living, breathing 5'6" reminder of my father's first wife. The one he actually loved. And worse, I'm competent. Diana can't stand competence. It threatens her. Because if you're competent, you don't need her. And if you don't need her, you can't be controlled by her. She survives on a diet of other people's dependency. She manages my father's social life. She manages Ryan's non-existing career, but she can't manage me, so she resorts to diminishing me. My business degree? Oh, that's so adorable. It's wonderful to have a hobby, Alicia. It keeps you busy. My first big event planning contract. Well, someone has to organize the parties. It's just as important as attending them, I suppose. She is a master of the backhanded compliment, the subtle dig, the public concern. Alicia, honey, you're working so hard. She'll say in front of guests. We really need to find you a nice man so you can finally relax. As if my success is just a placeholder for a husband. As if my work is just a frantic, sad distraction from being unlovable. And then there's Ryan, the golden child, the balloon, as my grandfather called him. Ryan is 28 years old, but he has the emotional maturity and life skills of a high school sophomore. He's tall, he's got great teeth, and he knows how to swing a golf club. And in my family, that's considered a full-blown career. He's not evil. Evil implies intent, a plan. Ryan is just empty. He is a beautifully wrapped hollow box. He has coasted for almost 3 decades on a wave of his mother's ambitions and my father's apathy. He genuinely believes he is special. He thinks working hard is for people like me, the background people. His charm is his only currency, and he spends lavishly. He can smile his way out of anything. When he totaled his BMW, the one I helped pay the insurance on, he had the police officer laughing. By the time the tow truck arrived, he walked away without even a ticket. Just a, you be careful now, son. He treats me not with malice, but with a profound, bone-deep indifference. I am his personal assistant, his Uber, his ATM, his academic advisor. I am a fact of life, like gravity or running water. He doesn't thank me. Do you think the plumbing when you turn on the faucet? I'll never forget the time I had saved up $3,000 to take an advanced certification course in high-end security events. I kept the cash in a safe in my closet. I came home from a long weekend of work, and it was gone. All of it. I found Ryan in the driveway, showing off a new custom-fitted set of golf clubs. I confronted him, and he just laughed. He didn't even deny it. Oh, come on, Lissy. You were just going to spend it on some boring book thing. I needed these for the member guest tournament. I went to my father. I was shaking. I was 24 years old, and I was crying. He stole from me. My father just looked tired. He rubbed the bridge of his nose, and then Diana glided in, having heard the commotion. Alicia, darling, it's money. It's not worth fighting over. Ryan just borrowed it. He'll pay you back when he, gets his big break. She stroked Ryan's hair. He's under a lot of pressure to perform. You wouldn't understand. He never paid me back, and I never took the course. Which brings me to the cornerstone of this entire rotten temple. My father, Martin. Diana and Ryan, they're predictable. They're a snake and a puppet. But my father, he's the real antagonist. He's the one who's supposed to protect me. He's the only one who's supposed to be on my side. And he's not. My dad's flaw isn't malice. It's cowardice. He is so terrified of being alone, so desperate for a quiet, easy life, that he has sacrificed his own daughter on the altar of his comfort. He lets Diana erase my mother. He lets Ryan treat me like a servant. He lets them spend us into oblivion because saying no would require a fight, and Martin hates to fight. He just wants to grill on his $10,000 outdoor pigeon, play his round of golf, and have Diana tell him he's a wonderful provider. His willful ignorance is an art form. Dad, I try to say, did you look at the quarterly statements for the trust? We're over-leveraged. Lissy. Spreadsheets. He'd chuckle, waving me away. That's your domain. You're so good at it. Your mother would be so proud. He uses my competence as a shield. Let Alicia handle it is his get-out-of-jail-free card for all of life's responsibilities. He doesn't want to know that I'm the one moving money around to keep the lights on. He doesn't want to know that Ryan is a thief and Diana's a financial vampire. Because if he knew, he would have to do something. He would have to be a father. He would have to be a husband. And he's too weak for either. So he just signs where I tell him to sign. Smiles when Diana tells him to smile. And praises Ryan for achievements that I paid for. The three of them are a perfect toxic triangle. Diana is the engine of entitlement. Ryan is the shiny hood ornament product. And my father is the man in the driver's seat, with his eyes closed, letting them drive the whole family off a cliff. And me? I've been in the backseat quietly reading the map, pumping the brakes from my side, and patching the tires while we're still moving. But on that golf course, as I watched them celebrate a victory I paid for at an event I built, I realized something. I'm done being the mechanic. I'm done being the ghost. I'm done being the load-bearing wall. A wall can't just walk away. But if it's been pushed and scraped and chiseled and hammered for 14 years, it can collapse and it can take the whole rotten, ugly house down with it. The event was perfect. I don't mean perfect in the way Diana means it, where the napkins match the floral arrangements. I mean perfect in the way a mechanical engineer means it. Every single moving part, every one of the 1,400 variables, functioned exactly as I had designed it to. The 200 golfers had a 100% on-time shock on start. The 3 custom-built and air-conditioned Oasis tents I designed on the 6th, 12th, and 18th holes had 0 wait time for water. The silent auction, run on the app I had licensed, had already exceeded its goal by 40% before lunch. The live feed drone I'd hired was piping flawless aerial footage of Ryan missing a putt to the 2 massive jumbotrons on the clubhouse terrace. This wasn't just a charity golf tournament. This was my audition. For a full year, I had worked for free. I had hustled. I had negotiated. I had begged for favors and called in every professional chit I had. I'd gotten the golf club to donate the course. I'd gotten the top restaurant in Scottsdale to donate the 500-plate gala dinner. I'd gotten a local celebrity to MC for a cut rate. All of it for free, all to build this one perfect day. Why? Because the Vistoso Children's Hospital was the National Foundation's test case. The man I was supposed to meet at the 18th hole, Mr. Harrison, wasn't just a CEO, he was the CEO. He was the man who ran the entire Vistoso National Foundation, with a $200 million annual operating budget. He had flown in from New York specifically for this. My local contact had told me, Alicia, if he likes what he sees, he doesn't just hire you for one event, he gives you the contract for the entire Southwest region. We're talking 10, maybe 15, 7-figure events a year. This is it. This was my escape hatch. This was my new life. This was the moment I could finally stop being the family's secret mechanic and just be myself. I made it to the clubhouse terrace. The sun was setting, casting that perfect Scottsdale golden hour glow. The gala dinner was about to begin. Mr. Harrison was standing near the stage, a tall, sharp man in a perfect blue suit. He saw me, and his face broke into a huge, genuine smile. There she is, he boomed, shaking my hand with both of his. Alicia, my goodness, young lady. My goodness, I've been to hundreds of these. Hundreds. I've never, ever seen one run like this. It was flawless. It was a military operation with champagne. How in the world did you pull this off? I could feel the tears welling up. Tears of relief. Thank you, sir. It was a team effort. We just wanted to do right by the kids. Nonsense, he said, waving his hand. I spoke to your team. They all said you're a one-woman army. The board is thrilled. We're well over the $2 million mark. We've already greenlit this for next year, and I want to talk to you. And that's when it happened. Mr. Harrison, there you are. Diana. She glided onto the terrace like a shark moving through water. Ryan and my father trailing in her wake. She was wearing a white dress that was far too expensive for a charity dinner. She completely ignored me, linking her arm through Mr. Harrison. I'm Diana, she purred, Martin's wife. And this, she said, yanking a now very drunk Ryan forward, is the man of the hour. Our champion. Ryan. Ryan, bless his heart, did a stupid swaying bow. He was holding the trophy in one hand and a highball glass in the other. He nearly fell over. Mr. Harrison looked confused. Ah, yes. Congratulations on the win, young man. A fine game. It's more than a game, Mr. Harrison, Diana said, her voice turning syrupy and inspiring. It's about spirit. It's about a winning attitude. That's what Ryan brought today. He was the inspiration for this whole event. I could feel the blood drain from my face. My father, Martin, just stood there, hands in his pockets, rocking on his heels, beaming like an idiot. That's my boy, he said to no one in particular. In fact, Diana continued, her voice getting louder, drawing the attention of the donors around us. We're just so proud. Ryan winning. It just symbolizes the fighting spirit of this whole hospital, don't you think? Mr. Harrison, to his credit, tried to steer the conversation back. That's lovely, Mrs. Diana. But I was just congratulating Alicia. She's the one who really— Oh, Alicia! Diana laughed, as if she'd just noticed me. Yes, she's been such a huge help. We're so proud of her, too. Taking on a little project like this. It's been just wonderful for her to have something to do. A little project, she said it, in front of my future. I tried to speak. Diana, Mr. Harrison was just— But Ryan, high on champagne in his own ego, wasn't done. He saw the local news camera that I had arranged, the one that was supposed to be interviewing Mr. Harrison and me about the donation total. Ryan saw a camera, and like a moth to a flame, he stumbled over to it. Hey, he slurred, waving his trophy. Get me, I'm the winner. Ryan, R-Y-A-N. Woo! He grabbed the microphone from the stunned reporter's hand, and then, Diana and my father followed him. They flanked him on camera, my dad clapping him on the back, Diana smoothing his hair. They were a perfect, hideous tableau of family pride. It's just an honor to be here, Ryan was saying, slurring his words into the mic. My family, we're all about, winning. And we won today. For the kids. Big win. The event MC, seeing the chaos, quickly cut the feed and went to the stage to start the dinner program. But the damage was done. The camera light clicked off. The donors were whispering. The reporter looked mortified. Mr. Harrison looked at me. His warm, enthusiastic expression was gone. It was replaced by something else. Pity. And worse, calculation. He looked at Diana, who was now telling Ryan to fix his collar. He looked at my father, who was ordering another scotch at the bar. He looked at Ryan, who was trying to get a waitress's phone number. He turned back to me, and his voice was low, professional, and cold. All the warmth was gone. Alicia, he said quietly, it has been an eventful evening. You did a good job on the logistics. Mr. Harrison, I cannot apologize enough for my— Don't, he said, cutting me off. But it wasn't a kind don't, it was a firm one. This is a family affair. I see that now. Your family is clearly very involved. They aren't? I said, my voice desperate. This was all me. They had nothing to do with it. He gave me a sad, tight smile. That's the problem, Alicia. I'm running $1 billion foundation, not a family therapy session. We need partners who are uncomplicated. I can't have this at every gala. I'm sure you understand. He nodded at my father. Your family, they're a liability. He pulled a business card from his wallet, but it wasn't his. It was someone else's. My regional director in Phoenix will be in touch. He'll settle your invoice for the expenses. He didn't shake my hand. He didn't say goodbye. He just walked away. The contract, the region, the 15 events, the 7-figure career, my escape hatch. It was all gone. I stood there on the terrace, holding my walkie-talkie. The music started playing for the gala, the $2 million gala, my perfect, flawless event. And I watched as Diana, Martin, and Ryan took their seats at the head table, the one reserved for Vistoso VPs, and ordered another round of champagne. They hadn't just stolen my moment. They hadn't just embarrassed me. They had, in the space of 3 minutes, cost me my entire future. I walked away from the terrace. I didn't go to the gala dinner. I went to my car. And I didn't cry. I just got cold. I sat in the dark in the far corner of the parking lot, and I pulled out my phone. I didn't call my father. I didn't call a friend. I called my grandfather's lawyer. Hi, Robert, I said, my voice perfectly calm. It's Alicia. I know it's late, but I have a question about my grandfather's estate. You once told me about a promissory note. I need you to explain immediate call-in to me in detail. It's 9 a.m. the day after the tournament. I am not at home. I am not hungover. I am sitting in a deep leather chair that smells faintly of old books and high-end polish. I am in the 40th floor office of Robert Kessler, my grandfather's lawyer and executor. The air up here is so still, you can't even hear the Phoenix traffic below. It's just the quiet, expensive hiss of filtered air. Robert is in his late 70s. He's wearing a vest and a gold watch chain. He is not a lawyer. He is a barrister in the old world sense. He was my grandfather's best friend and his chief counsel for 50 years. He is the only other person on earth who knew my grandfather's real secret. He slides a thick, leather-bound portfolio across a mahogany desk. It makes a heavy, satisfying thud. Your grandfather, Arthur, Robert says, his voice a gravelly baritone, was the most calculating man I ever knew. And I mean that as the highest possible compliment. He despised your father. He saw Diana for the gold-plated parasite she is, and he adored you. I look at the portfolio. My hands are perfectly steady. Last night, watching Mr. Harrison walk away, I felt my future shatter. This morning, I'm here to pick up the pieces and build a new one. He told me about the note. Robert, I say quietly. He told me he'd handled the house. I was just a kid. I didn't understand the specifics. I need to understand them now. Robert nods, a grim, thin smile on his face. Oh, you're not just going to understand it, Alicia. You're going to inherit it. You see, your family's biggest mistake, and they've made many, was assuming your grandfather was a senile old fool who was bad with money. He was a shark, and they were just chum. He opens the portfolio. Inside isn't just a note. It's a pristine, detailed 50-page private loan agreement. Here is the secret weapon, the bomb my grandfather built 14 years ago and left for me to detonate. It turns out, 14 years ago, just after my mother's final diagnosis, my father, Martin, was on the verge of his first spectacular bankruptcy. His investment consultancy, which was just him and a rented mailbox, had collapsed, and he owed $500,000 to some very unpleasant people. The banks wouldn't touch him. He was about to lose our original, smaller house. He was toxic. My mother, sick and terrified, called her father, my grandfather. Arthur, being Arthur, saw an opportunity. Not to be kind, but to be smart. He didn't give Martin the money. That would be a gift. An asset Martin could squander. No. Arthur executed a transaction. First, he paid off Martin's immediate debts. Then, he encouraged Martin to upgrade the family to a better, more secure home, where my mother could be more comfortable. That's the Scottsdale mansion. The 8,000-square-foot palace, Martin and Diana saw it as a victory, a symbol of their arrival, but it was a trap. My grandfather, Arthur, personally financed the entire purchase. He created a private loan, with himself as the bank. Martin, who was desperate and profoundly stupid, signed it without reading it. Diana was just thrilled about the zip code and the size of the master closet. This, Alicia, Robert says, tapping a page, is the genius of it. It wasn't a 30-year fixed mortgage. It was an interest-only demand note. I lean forward. Explain that. Like on the client. Gladly, Robert says. It means Martin and Diana were only responsible for paying the interest each month. A laughably small amount that your grandfather set, just low enough for them to mostly afford. The entire principal, the multi-million-dollar cost of the house, and the $500,000 he used to bail your father out was just sitting there, waiting. Waiting for what? Robert turns the page. Waiting for this. The demand clause. Most demand notes can be called in at the lender's discretion, for any reason. But your grandfather was more creative. He knew your father and Diana. He built in specific triggers. He slides his finger down the page, past the dense legal text, to a highlighted paragraph. Section 4B, the lender, Robert reads, reserves the right to call the entire principal sum, plus all accrued and unpaid interest, immediately due and payable in full, upon 30 days written notice, should the debtor 1. Attempt to sell or leverage the property without written consent. 2. Fail to maintain the property. Or 3. He pauses and looks me right in the eye. 3. Should the debtor, Martin Vance, be found to be acting with gross financial negligence, or be found to be failing to act in the good faith and financial best interests of his legal dependents, namely, his daughter, Alicia Vance. I stop breathing. He didn't just give me a weapon. He made me the trigger. They never read it, I whisper. They signed it at a bank with a notary, Robert says. It is ironclad. For 14 years, Martin and Diana had been living in a house they don't own, under the illusion that your grandfather was a soft touch. They thought of it as family money they were entitled to. They forgot it was a loan. Your grandfather? He let them forget. And when he died? I ask, my voice tight. That's the second piece of genius, Robert says, pulling out a second file. This one is marked the AV Trust. Your grandfather didn't leave this note to you in his will. A will can be contested. It gets tied up in probate. It's messy. No. Months before he passed, he transferred the note, the entire debt, into an irrevocable private trust. The Arthur Vance Trust. A trust, he adds, of which you became the sole trustee and sole beneficiary the moment he passed. Alicia, you are not just the creditor. You are the bank. I sit back. The coldness I felt in the parking lot last night wasn't just anger. It was clarity. I am the bank. I own the paper on their entire life. The house, the cars, the club memberships, all of it is funded by the debt they owe me. Robert leans back. So, the question isn't what is the weapon. The question is, what are you going to do with it? The full sum, with 14 years of occasionally paid interest. We're talking, let me see. He taps the calculator. A balloon payment of approximately $4.20 million, payable in 30 days. I look out the window at the sharp, clean lines of the cityscape. I think about Mr. Harrison's pitying face. I think about Ryan slurring into the microphone I'd paid for. I think about Diana calling my career a little project. I think about my father, smiling his weak, empty smile and letting them all do it. Gross financial negligence, failing to act in my best interests. They didn't just embarrass me last night, Robert. I say, my voice flat. They cost me a multi-million-dollar contract. They sabotaged my career.
Well, Robert says, steepling his fingers.
That certainly sounds like it meets the legal definition. I look back at him. How fast can you draft a demand for payment? Robert doesn't smile, but his eyes do. He reaches into his desk drawer and pulls out a single fresh sheet of paper. It's on his personal letterhead. Your grandfather planned for everything. He even planned for your victory. I've had this form letter ready for 5 years, Alicia. All it needs is your signature. He hands me a heavy, expensive pen. Sign it, he says, and the process server will have it in your father's hands before cocktail hour. The retribution isn't a single boom. It's not a shouting match. It's not a tearful confrontation. It's a scalpel. It's a legal maneuver. It's a series of quiet, precise, irreversible clicks as the tumblers of a lock fall into place. I signed the letter. I signed it with the heavy, expensive pen Robert gave me, my signature clear and steady. Alicia Meters, Vance. Not Lissy, not the help. The process server's name is Mr. Kovich, Robert said, taking the letter from me and sealing it in a thick, cream-colored envelope. He's very discreet and very memorable. He'll make sure it's delivered directly into your father's hand. I didn't go home. I couldn't. Staying in that house, in my old room, would have been a lie. I went to a hotel, a clean, cold, anonymous hotel in downtown Phoenix. I ordered room service, opened my laptop, and for the first time in my life, I didn't open the family's financial spreadsheets. I opened the website for the national real estate firm I'd always dreamed of working for, and I started polishing my resume. The contract with Vistoso was gone, but the stills that earned the audition were not. I was building my future, while 20 miles away, their present was about to be repossessed. Here's how it happened. I have it from Robert, who got the report from Mr. Kovich. At 4:45 p.m., Mr. Kovich, a large man in a sharp but unremarkable gray suit, rang the doorbell of the Scottsdale mansion. Diana answered, holding a half-full wine glass. She was already dressed for the evening. Yes, she said, her voice clipped. She hates unannounced visitors. Delivery for Mr. Martin Vance, Kovich said, his voice flat. Signature required. I'm his wife, I can sign, Diana snapped, reaching for the envelope. Mr. Kovich didn't move. He held the envelope just out of her reach. My instructions are Mr. Martin Vance only. Diana, offended, huffed. Martin, darling, someone's here for you. Terribly insistent. My father came to the door, adjusting his golf shirt. He was probably 30 minutes away from his first cocktail of the evening. I'm Martin Vance, he said, all false salesman charm. What can I do for you? Mr. Kovich simply handed him the envelope in a digital scanner. Sign here, please. My father scrawled his name, annoyed by the interruption. He took the thick, expensive envelope. He saw the letterhead, Kessler Dunn, and his face paled. What's this? He said, his voice suddenly small. That's not my department, sir, Mr. Kovich said. You've been served. Then he turned, walked back to his black sedan, and drove away. My father, Robert told me, stood in the doorway. He opened it. He read the first line. Dear Martin, per the terms of the demand note dated October 14th, 2011, executed by yourself and Arthur L. Davies. Diana, seeing his face, was furious. Martin, what is it? Is it about money? Did that stupid daughter of yours mess up the accounts again? My father didn't answer. He just stumbled backward and sat down, hard on the pristine white entryway bench. He looked out for a rousing answer and start paying. Why did you not feel like you looked out from the bedroom? He read the total, $4,219,340.58. He read the due date, payable in full, 30 days from receipt. He read the final line. All inquiries may be directed to the sole trustee of the AV Trust, Ms. Alicia Meters, Vance, via her legal counsel. This is the part I love. This is the moment the ice-cold precision of the plan worked. My phone, which I had placed on the hotel desk, began to ring. The caller ID said, Dad. I looked at it. I let it ring. Ring, ring, ring. It went to voicemail. Voicemail 1, Alicia, Lissy, call me right now. There's been some kind of terrible mistake. A legal thing. It's bad. Call me. 2 seconds later, it rang again. I let it ring. Ring, ring, ring. Voicemail 2, shrieking, not words, just a high-pitched, Martin, what is this? Then her voice, low and furious. Alicia, I don't know what kind of sick, twisted joke this is, but you call your father back right now. You have upset him. This is a typo. You fix this. You fix this right now, you ungrateful lil. Click. And then the grand finale. Ryan, ring, bing, bing. Voicemail 3. Hey, Lissy. So mom's kind of losing it. Dad's not talking. Something about the house. Listen, whatever it is, can you just handle it? I've got a tea time at 8 a.m. and I need to borrow the Escalade, so just make the nut in the blood, I asked. Make this go away. Okay, cool. I saved all 3. I didn't call them back. I turned on Do Not Disturb. I took a long hot shower. I put on the fluffy hotel robe. I ordered a slice of cheesecake that cost $30 and I ate every bite. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls and a string of 19 text messages. They were a masterclass in narcissistic panic. DAD, Lissy, this isn't funny. Call me. Dad, where are you? Are you at the house? Dad, Robert Kessler won't take my call. He said he doesn't represent me. Dad, Alicia, this is your father. You are legally required to talk to me. Spoiler, I'm not. Diana, you are a snake. A snake in the grass? After all we've done for you. Diana, Martin is having heart palpitations. This is your fault. Diana, I'm calling the police. You've stolen from us. Diana, fine. You win. What do you want? A new car? We'll get you a new car. Just stop this. Ryan, Lissy, where are the keys to the Escalade? Ryan, dude, not cool. I had to get an Uber. Ryan, Mom says we're moving? LOL. What's going on? The retribution wasn't in the serving of the papers. The retribution was in the silence that followed. For 14 years, I was their 24/7 on-call crisis manager. I was the one-woman army who handled everything. My value to them was based entirely on my immediate, unquestioning availability. So, I made myself unavailable. For 72 hours, I let them marinate in the consequences. I let them call their own lawyers, who, I'm sure for a very high retainer, explained to them the legal definitions of irrevocable trust and demand note. I let them go to their banks. I let them discover, in horrifying, slow-motion detail, that the sum of their assets didn't even begin to cover the interest on their debt. I let them, for the first time in their pampered, protected, ignorant lives, feel the full crushing weight of their own actions. I didn't have to yell. I didn't have to cry. I didn't have to get revenge. I just called in a debt. I just checked the do not disturb box. The bomb had already gone off. The fallout, that was just the paperwork. And I'm very, very good at paperwork. The meeting doesn't happen at their house. It doesn't happen at my hotel. It happens 1 week after the papers were served, on my turf, in the 40th floor glass and steel conference room of Robert Kessler's law firm. I've been told they've been difficult. They tried to hire their own lawyer, who, after one phone call with Robert, promptly fired them as clients, citing no clear path to payment. They tried to get a line of credit, a second mortgage. But the news that a $4.20 million demand note was active on their property hit their credit report like a nuclear bomb. They were radioactive. No one would touch them. So they agreed to my terms, a meeting, just them, just me, and Robert, sitting at the end of the 20-foot table observing. I'm there first. I'm wearing a dark blue, perfectly tailored suit. My hair is pulled back. When the receptionist shows them in, the transformation is staggering. They look old. Diana, who I've never seen with a single hair out of place, looks haggard. Her expensive blonde highlights look brassy. Her eyes are red and puffy, but not from sadness, from rage. Ryan shuffles in behind her, looking like a lost, overgrown child. He's wearing wrinkled clothes, and for the first time, his golden boy charm is gone. He just looks pale and confused. And then my father, Martin. He looks broken. He's lost weight. He's a suit that's been hung up wrong. They sit at the opposite end of the massive table, a perfect, miserable family unit. There's a long, terrible silence. I just look at them. I wait. My father is the first to crack. He leans forward, his hands clasped so hard they are shaking. Lissy, he croaks. Lissy, baby. Thank God, you're finally talking to us. Lissy, you have to stop this. It's a mistake. Your grandfather, he was just an old man. He didn't know what he was signing. You have to tell Robert to stop this. It's just a misunderstanding. There is no misunderstand, Dad, I say. My voice is clear and low. It echoes slightly in the big, empty room. Diana explodes. The pleading didn't work, so it's time for the attack. You monster! She hisses, half rising from her chair. Do you see what you've done to your father? He hasn't slept in a week. He's sick. You are killing him. After everything we've done for you, given you a home, put a roof over your ungrateful head, the roof, I interrupt, that I am currently foreclosing on. Please sit down, Diana. Don't you dare talk to my mother that way, Ryan shouts. It's the first time he's ever raised his voice at me. It's almost cute. Lissy, this is insane. Just call the bank and fix it. You're good at this stuff. Just pay the bill or whatever. Use your little event money. And there it is. The profound, bottomless, galaxy-sized pit of their ignorance. They still don't get it. They still think I'm the help. They think I'm a disobedient employee who has caused a problem. I slide 3 thin, ring-bound folders from my briefcase and place them on the table. You're right, Ryan, I say. I am good at this stuff, so I made copies for you. I push the folders down the table. They stop, perfectly, in front of them. Let's call this The Vistoso Debacle by Alicia Vance. My father just stares at them. Ryan opens one, his lips moving as he tries to read the legal-size paper. File number 1. I say, my voice like a tour guide's. That's a copy of the original demand note. The one my grandfather, Arthur Davies, had your father sign 14 years ago. You'll see the amount, the terms, and the demand clause under Section 4B. The one about gross financial negligence and failing to act in the best interests of me. I've highlighted it for you. My father winces, like the words themselves are a bright light. File number 2, I continue. is a summary of the household finances for the last 5 years. It's a spreadsheet. I know you don't like those, Dad, but it's very simple. The red column is your spending. The black column is your income. And the green column, that's my little event money. That's my inheritance from my mother, the one I've been quietly draining to pay for. Let's see. I tap my own copy. Ryan's car. 2 of Ryan's golf club memberships. Diana's trip to Cabo last spring, the $8,000 bar tab from the club championship, it's all in there. It seems my little event money has been the only thing keeping the lights on. Diana looks like she's been slapped. She's staring at the itemized list of her own purchases, and finally I say, file number 3. That's a new one. That's the written affidavit from Mr. Harrison of the Vistoso Foundation, detailing your behavior at the charity classic. And that's a copy of the contract I lost because of that behavior. A contract valued, conservatively, at $1.50 million in the first year alone, which, by my calculation, is the definition of failing to act in my best interests. You didn't just embarrass me. You sabotaged me. I lean back in my chair. So no, Dad. It's not a misunderstanding. It's a contract, and you are in breach. I'm not killing you, Diana. I'm a bank, collecting on a bad debt. My father finally understands. This isn't a negotiation. It's a verdict. He slumps. He puts his head in his hands, and his shoulders begin to shake. He's crying. Weak, terrified, silent sobs. Alicia, he whispers, looking up. His face is a ruin. Lizzie, please, don't do this. I'm your father. I'm begging you. Where will we go? What will we do? We're family. Family, that's the word. The last pathetic, rusted out bullet in his gun. I stand up. I walk to the head of the table. I look down on all 3 of them. Family, I say, and the word tastes like ash. Family doesn't do what you did. Family doesn't steal. Family doesn't diminish. Family doesn't erase you. I look at Diana, erased my mother. You. I look at Ryan, stole my money and my moments. And you. I look at my father. You just let them. You watched them do it because it was easier than being a man. I pick up my briefcase. You're not family. You're just my first, biggest, and last bad clients, and I'm firing you. But the house. My father chokes out. We'll be on the street. Oh no, I say, walking to the door. I told you, I'm a planner. I've handled it. Robert speaks for the first time. Mr. Vance, if you'll look in the 4th unmarked folder. My father, confused, fumbles with the last file. The AV Trust, Robert says, his voice booming, has, as a gesture, decided not to pursue you for the full $4.20 million. We are simply liquidating the asset. The house. You're selling our Diana starts. My bank, I say from the door, is selling its house. The sale is already in escrow. It closes in 10 days. You have 72 hours to remove your personal belongings. But where? That's the second part of the file, Dad, I say. I've already secured a new 2-bedroom garden-level apartment for you and Diana. It's in Sun City. It's very nice. The first 6 months' rent and the deposit are paid. After that, you're on your own. You might want to get a job. What about me? Ryan sputters, standing up. What about me? I turn, and I give him my brightest, coldest, most efficient smile. I pull a single folded piece of paper from my suit jacket. I handled you too, Ryan. You always said I was a great planner. I toss it on the table. It's a job application. The manager at the Phoenician Golf Club was so impressed with your winning spirit. They have an immediate opening in the valet department. Congratulations on your new job. I hear the tips are great. And with that, I turn around. I open the door. Robert, I say, not looking back. You have my number when the final papers are signed. Always a pleasure, Miss Vance, he says. I walk out. I don't run. I don't look back. I walk past the receptionist. I get in the elevator, and I ride all 40 floors down in perfect, beautiful silence. I step out of the revolving door and stop to a sudden I pull out my phone. I scroll to the last voicemail. Just called. I delete the contact. Dad, Diana, Ryan, all of them. Gone. My phone feels lighter. I feel lighter. A new text message pings. It's from a number I don't recognize. Miss Vance, this is Susan, Mr. Harrison's assistant. He was so impressed with your portfolio, he asked me to schedule a call. He's consulting for a new national firm and thinks you'd be a perfect chief of logistics. Does next Tuesday work? I stand on the pavement. I look at the blue sky. I think about the 72 hours they have left. I think about Ryan in a red vest, parking a car. I think about Diana in a tiny Sun City apartment with no one to impress. I take a deep breath and I start typing. Tuesday sounds perfect. Thank you.